Pisces, here is your compass for 22nd to 30th September 2025. You are the ocean sign that feels first and understands later. This week asks you to do the reverse for a moment. Feelings remain your gift, but the sky keeps pointing you toward proof, plans, and practical steps. Think of yourself as a gentle river that now runs through a well-built channel. Your heart still moves the water, but the banks shape the flow so it reaches the fields that need it. If you have been waiting for a week to make promises real, to turn care into clean systems, and to move from ideas to agreements, this is that week. Sun travels through Virgo in your 7th house of agreements. Most of this window, the sun is in Hasta. Hasta is the artisan, the hand that shapes. In its first phase, the energy acts like a brave starter who cuts waste. In its second phase, the energy becomes steady and practical, building something you can touch. Sun in Hasta tells you to craft relationships like a potter, patient and exact. Mercury is also in Virgo, in its own home, and it shifts from Hasta into the first phase of Chitra near the end. Hasta under Mercury writes clear checklists. Chitra under Mars designs strong frameworks. Mercury has been combust this month and stops being combust on the 30th. Think of a foggy lens that gets cleaned. Your words gain full force again. Mars moves through Libra in your 8th house inside Swati. Swati is the wind in a single reed, independent, flexible, always seeking balance. In phase 1, Swati tells truths. In phase 2, it brings structure. Mars here wants deals to be fair, reversible, and well shared. Jupiter, your guardian, stays in Gemini in your 4th house within Punarvasu phase 3. Punarvasu is the return of the light, the safe home after a journey. It asks you to learn, teach, and make your base secure. Venus walks through Leo in your 6th house inside Purva Falguni. This star loves comfort and pleasure, but in this part of your chart, it trims extra frills so your daily systems work better. Phase 1 adds charisma to service. Phase 2 brings crisp craft. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, with Neptune retrograde, both in Uttara Bhadrapada phase 1. This is the deep ocean well, vows, patience, and maturity. It tests identity and asks you to live your values. Rahu moves through Aquarius in your 12th house inside Purva Bhadrapada. Ketu mirrors it in Leo in your 6th. They push the axis of rest versus duty. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus in your 3rd house in Kritika phase 4, sparking new tools and clever hacks. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn in your 11th house in Uttara Ashada phase 4, purifying your networks and goals. The moon moves from Virgo to Libra to debilitated Scorpio, then to Sagittarius. It touches Jyeshta, crosses the edge from water to fire into Mula, and then Purva Ashada. Emotions start exact and practical, dive deep for a day, and then rise to broadcast. The major picture is a clear bridge between Pisces in your 1st house and Virgo in your 7th. On one side, Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house want sober self-definition. On the other side, Sun and Mercury in your 7th house want clean agreements. The bridge is built by data, schedules, and boundaries. When you show proof of what you can do and when you will do it, other people relax. The week is not about drama. It is about design. Imagine 2 voices. One is the soft healer inside you. The other is a careful auditor who checks receipts. This week, both voices work together. The moon's phases move through the waxing half, so energy and confidence slowly increase. There is one sensitive dip when the moon crosses Scorpio and feels thin. Treat that day like a low tide. Do maintenance, do not launch. Once the moon steps into Sagittarius, spirit turns outward again. Your best mental posture is gentle but firm. Speak kindly, write clearly, and ask for measurable steps. Numerology adds a helpful rhythm. the 27th carries the number 9 heavily, a number of closure and completion. Use that day to finish, forgive, and file. The 10th house of status lights up when the moon moves into Sagittarius, and your 4th-10th axis links home support with public work because Jupiter sits in the 4th and looks at the 10th. That creates a teacher's stance. You are heard when you show what you learned and how it helps others. Plan a presentation, a document, or a decision memo that blends heart with numbers. In the 7th house, Sun and Mercury face Saturn and Neptune in your 1st. This is a classic negotiation picture. People will ask for clarity. They will want scope, price, and timeline. The cleanest way to win is to offer options. Option A is simple and quick. Option B adds features with higher cost. Option C is the premium path. Put review points into each option so nothing becomes a trap. This is the practical use of Mars in the 8th. Pilot projects and reversible terms. It is wiser to start small, measure, and then expand. Mercury no longer combusts from the 30th, changes tone in your calls and contracts. Before that date, write drafts, redline clauses, and collect proof. After that date, signatures and green lights become smoother. Because Pluto watches from your 11th house, power dynamics and teams matter. Keep a clean record of who decides what, who owns which part, and how revenue is shared. Use simple dashboards that anyone can check. Your 6th house holds Venus with Ketu. This makes service beautiful when it is simple. Cut fancy features. Remove meetings that do not move the needle. If you lead a team, state 2 or 3 non-negotiables for the week and protect them. If you work with clients, promise the effect, not the flair. A practical example: instead of a shiny long report, deliver a 1-page brief with the headline result, 3 numbers, and a clear next step. Money talk sits in your 2nd and 8th houses. Mars in Libra runs the 8th, which includes shared resources, loans, and long-term insurance. Uranus throws new information at you from the 3rd house, and Pluto demands integrity from the 11th. The message is simple: renegotiate, but keep the exit door visible. If you update a lease, add a review point. If you shift an investment, keep some liquidity. If you share revenue, write the split and the audit path. The 2nd house, ruled by Mars as well, wants truth in speech. Say what you can pay, say what you will not pay, and say why. Jupiter in the 4th pushes for investment in home, tools, and learning that create peace and productivity. Gemini is not Jupiter's favorite sign, but the planet still blesses when you link spending to teaching or skill. Buy what helps you learn or reduces domestic friction. Cancel subscriptions that exist only for pride. Numerology helps again. Days led by Venus promise comfort, but with Ketu beside Venus, the better choice is friendly thrift. Think quality basics, not status purchases. Sun and Mercury in the 7th make this a partnership week. When the Sun walks through Virgo, respect grows through exactness. You will build trust by writing a scope, setting a review date, and sticking to it. Mercury opposing Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde in your 1st house means partners mirror your inner conflict. Dream versus duty. That can feel tense, but it is good tension. It grows love that is reliable. If you are dating, conversations about lifestyle and calendars may feel less romantic, but they are the glue you need. If you are married or in a long partnership, turn this energy into a planning ritual. Sit together and choose 2 shared priorities that protect the bond. The moon's brief visit to Scorpio can stir old fear or jealousy. Do not chase shadows. Tell your person, "I am feeling tender. I want to check stories instead of assuming them." When the moon reaches Sagittarius, spend time with friends who see your potential and cheer your progress. Pluto in the 11th also reminds you to check the quality of your circles. Choose groups that play fair. The 1st house holds Saturn retrograde with Neptune retrograde. This pair can blur boundaries and then demand repair. Healthcare this week is less about treatments and more about rails. Sleep time supported by simple tech limits, gentle movement that repeats, food that is easy to digest and easy to track. The sixth house is active with Venus and Ketu, so beauty is in the basics. A tiny example can change the week. A glass water bottle on your desk, a two-line checklist above your workstation, a daily walk with one song that always lifts you. The moon's low moment in Scorpio is perfect for a quieter day. Think of energy like a tide. You do not yell at the ocean to come back faster. You wait and it returns. The ninth house rules longer travel and belief. When the moon crosses Scorpio, travel planning can feel heavy or messy, so keep things simple. After the moon enters Sagittarius, movement supports your message. Trips linked to teaching, training, or publishing are favored because Jupiter stands behind them from your fourth house. If you must choose between two journeys, pick the one that helps you share what you know. Jupiter in Gemini loves study and exchange. Think of your home as a small campus this week. Put learning in the calendar the way you would put an appointment. The best creative results come when you combine data and care. A cooking notebook with times and temperatures beside family notes. A design file with both colors and user stories. The moon moving into Sagittarius lights the stage. Share what you learn in a simple post, a short talk, or a practical guide. With Jupiter in the fourth house, home is both classroom and sanctuary. This does not call for big makeovers. It asks for small fixes that save time or prevent friction. A place for keys, a meal plan on one page, a family chat that only carries essential notices. Because Mercury rules your fourth, and it clears combustion on the 30th, important home paperwork is easier after that date. Before that, take photos for records, gather receipts, and ask detailed questions. If you co-own property or share a space, Mars in the 8th wants things written down. Agree on chores, costs, and check-ins. Clarity heals. What is the lesson behind the tests? The sky is training your compassion to wear work boots. Pisces loves to melt walls. Virgo loves to label drawers. Both are sacred. Your karma now is to make kindness practical, to show love as systems, and to let dreams carry checklists without losing their color. The discomfort you may feel when you ask for evidence or set a boundary is not a flaw. It is growth. The 999 flavor of the 27th closes old loops. Forgiving someone, closing an account, or finishing a long-delayed task can be an offering to your future self. You do not need to become cold to be clear. You do not need to become harsh to be firm. Picture a lighthouse made of warm wood. It stands in rain and mist, not to control the ocean, but to guide ships safely. This week, you are that lighthouse for yourself and for others. Write the plan, offer the options. Choose the modest pilot that can grow. Rest without guilt when the tide is low. Share your learning when the tide returns. When Mercury regains full strength at the end of the window, sign the papers that your heart and your notes both support. Your gifts belong in the world, and this week gives you the structure to carry them there.